I'm starting to feel like I'm in a very abusive relationship with Into the Dark. Every time I think that I'm out, it just ropes me back in.
Yeah, you do. XYZ. I'm just fucking with you.
I'm Just Fucking With You is directed by Adam Mason. It stars Keira O'Donnell, Jessica McNamee, and Hayes MacArthur, and it tells the story of a pair of siblings who end up holed up in a motel for the night, only to be set upon with a series of increasingly disturbing and violent practical jokes by the man in charge by the name of Chester. Right from the get-go, I was taken aback by how much actual vision was included in this movie, because that was not something I was expecting from any other Into the Dark episode aside from Puka. So when the opening credits sequence of this film rolled, I was just floored by the fact that there was an actual style. There's a lot of care given to this movie, and Adam Mason clearly has a very distinct idea of what he wants it to be, and for this marathon, that is just such a breath of fresh air. Where I'm Just Fucking With You succeeds is the fact that Mason did something interesting with what is ultimately just an okay script. There are a lot of interesting stylistic choices made throughout the movie, from the lighting, to the punchy editing, to the weird sound effects that feel like they're literally ripped from a soundboard. They're all so intentional and done with such charm, and it really serves as a tool to punch up the comedy in some scenes, as well as a tool for just making the movie actually look technically proficient. There are some visuals in here, especially in the film's batshit crazy finale, that feel pulled out of the show Legion, and I love that. I'm a fan of Noah Hawley's style, and when this movie emulates that, it's kind of awesome. On that merit alone, it's better than almost all of the other films that Blumhouse has put out in this series, aside from Puka. But, I mean, after Treehouse, even the most mediocre film will look like high art. The movie's all held together by Hayes MacArthur's Chester, who's ultimately just a lunatic obsessed with practical jokes who is somehow a more tolerable TJ Miller than the actual TJ Miller, and his sheer unpredictability holds this movie together. It's clear from the get-go that the dude is crazy, but we never realize what lengths he's willing to go to or what kind of crazy he actually is. And while I can't call him a great villain since his motivation ultimately just boils down to pure nihilism and absurdity, he's kind of the exact type of villain that a film like this needs. Not trying to be anything deeper or more memorable or too serious, he's just an unpredictable psychopath who provides some genuinely funny moments, as well as the most inventive, if not implausible, kills I've ever witnessed in a film, maybe ever. It involves a zip tie, and it's actually really creative, even if in reality it would be total bullshit. Now, just like all the other Into the Dark films, it does suffer as far as the writing goes, but I think I've just kind of come to expect that at this point. The bar has been set that low. At this point, the next movie I see that is not a part of this series is going to be a euphoric experience, regardless of how good or bad it is. I'm Just Fucking With You starts off really strong, but then it starts to drag when it gets to a second act. Things just grind to a halt for a good 30 minutes or so, and during that time it attempts to do some characterization of the main characters, but all of it comes across as shallow. On top of that, its themes aren't really anything too special or well explored. It's basically just a movie version of the Joker's One Bad Day monologue.
I'm the Joker, baby!
And while that does make for an entertaining film, it doesn't make for necessarily engaging film. I can't say I'm Just Fucking With You is the best I've seen from this series, but it's also far from the worst. And it's actually probably the best, it's one of the best three that I've seen. I'm gonna say that I'm Just Fucking With You is solid. If you want a good April Fool's Day movie with a few great visual gags and a lot of trippy, absurdist fun, give it a watch. It definitely will give you more to enjoy than any of the other ones in this franchise that I've seen so far. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. There's a Patreon link down in the description if you want to be like any of these cool people right here. I would really appreciate it. There's all sorts of cool new rewards, anything from access to my private Discord server to gifts sent right to your door once a month. If any of that interests you, please consider donating. I'd appreciate it a lot, but even if you don't, thank you so much for watching anyway, and I will see you all very soon.
Are you just fucking with me?
You tell me.